Oh my god, this is new.
Our students have never done coding before.
I was a beginner. I never even had the slightest hope that these children were, going to do something good.
AXIA Hub is a value and technology-driven hub launched in 2021 with a mission to help people, businesses, governments and systems become successful and efficient. With cutting-edge innovative tools, AXIA Hub strives to improve the African continent and beyond. With this goal, the hub introduced the AXIA Tech Challenge. The AXIA Tech Challenge is an annual competition that nurtures and develops tech skills in Nigerian high school students. It builds confidence among participants by providing them with resources to develop their tech proficiency.
So before now, there was nothing like ATC. Before now, the focus was mainly on undergraduates and graduates and professionals in helping this group of people to either get into a tech career, get a tech skill, or be certified on their existing skills, or improve their employability. But we looked into 2 years, we looked into 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now, and we noticed that if we do not target the people who are going to replace the current employees we have, then there's going to be a major gap in the African technology supply chain. So we also noticed that in the continent, there is not so much to do around high school and in preparing these people before they even get into the contemporary universities. So we decided to set up a system that triggered innovation in secondary schools and set these students on a journey of a lifetime, a journey to experiencing recent technology, a journey to networking with people who would inspire them and motivate them, setting examples for them beyond their regular classroom walls.
Planning a competition of this magnitude, which had never been hosted before, especially in the city of Jos, Plateau State, Nigeria, wouldn't come without its attendant challenges.
It was new. It was new to a lot of schools, and the students had not experienced these kind of things before. The average high school assumed that it was a profit-driven initiative for our sake. But as they continued to interact with it from the first stage, the second stage, they realized that this was actually aimed at them. So a challenge was acceptance. A couple of schools and institutions declined. So acceptance was one. So because we sought to keep the standard very high, the students struggled at the beginning. So it was as they grew into the events, they grew into the different stages, they became more comfortable with the whole system.
Our students have never done coding before, but it would be interesting for them to participate. I met the head of school. He was reluctant at first. He was, Mr. Lasisi, these children don't know anything about coding, and you want to take them to a coding competition, and we're in a new school. If you go there to tarnish our image, what will become of us? And I told him that I trust our learners, and I believe if we put them in the right path, they will definitely excel. And he was okay. If you think you can do it, go ahead.
Due to the variation in the students' programming knowledge levels, ranging from total beginners to those with limited understanding, a unique challenge arose in the form of potential unfairness during the competition. To address this issue, the instructors from AXIA Hub embarked on a visit to the participating schools to bridge the knowledge gap among the participants. ensuring that every student had the necessary foundation and understanding to compete on an equal footing.
I was able to help them out by instructing them and at least showing them some of the basic things they should know before they embark on the challenge, because they would definitely face a lot of students that actually have a background or a knowledge in the programming field. So I was able to explain basic concepts to them and at least teach them the major things they should know before, just to make them prepared for the challenge.
Just seeing their enthusiastic face when we got to the school, like seeing people are interested in tech, especially children and kids from that level. It was beautiful. A
few students that I interacted with they didn't really have a background in programming. They were just taught theoretical parts of programming, so it wasn't really a strong foundation for me on my own part. So I felt there was a lot of work to be done. So my interaction with them was I was trying to make them see the fun in programming itself. They shouldn't take it as a difficult task or a difficult field to embark in.
Everybody uses technological devices, so I would say to a certain extent I'm computer literate, but in terms of programming, I was a beginner. The three competitors from our school were beginners. So before the competition, we knew nothing about programming, but after the competition, we had knowledge about programming and we love to continue and acquire it as a skill.
Before I met AXIA, I had a little bit knowledge on programming. Like sometimes during holiday, my dad can just go and dump me at N-Hub to go and learn what I want to learn, and then come back home as far as I'm doing something useful with my life. So I had a little bit prior knowledge about programming, but I never had anything about Python. It was just mainly HTML, CSS, JavaScript, basic front-end programming.
A total of 20 schools received invitation to participate in the competition. However, after careful consideration, 12 schools were chosen to take part in the challenge. It is noteworthy that out of these 12 schools, only 10 ultimately attended the event. The participating schools included Baptist High School, Baptist Model School, Educare Chosen High School, Federal Government College, St. Paul's Academy, St. John's Secondary School, Peakfield Academy, St. Augustine's College, Ramarville Christian Academy, and the Redeemed People's Academy. The competition consisted of 3 distinct stages: the initial round, the semi-final round, and the grand finale. Out of the participating schools, 7 schools would progress to the semi-finals, and 5 schools will make it to the final round.
That day when we came into the hall, I can remember one of our students, Bukonkwo, he told me, he said, "Mr. Lasisi, we are going to come last. See all these schools here, see them, SS3 and SS2. And we are just in SS3 and barely starting SS1. And I told him that it is not about that. Let's start and see, let's progress each stage at a time.
We were able to meet, I think, 12 schools who participated, Remarville, St. John, other schools. And then we were able to see our challenges and then our opponents who were meant to beat us or be beating them.
I didn't know what to expect from the first stage, but I was optimistic. I knew I had to prepare because there will obviously be something tough there and other schools are also involved.
The hall was cold and it was massive, so I was like, wow. Then I now went and sat down at the back seat. It was fun, it was exciting, and
I must say that I was shocked because I've never been to that kind of competition. The whole place was arranged differently. And when I saw other schools, then I knew that the competition was more serious than I thought.
So the gave us sample questions and I was trying to remember what I learned, and that round was like a brain teaser or something. So we're trying to do a lot of mathematics, verbal reasoning, quantitative and stuff like that. So I guess I was scared. Anxiety built up in me.
And then everything was so like, okay, we have to work together, put our ideas together, and then make sure that we're able to at least go to the second round and not lose.
In the initial round, there were 3 phases. The first phase involved a written component where every participating school had to respond to 15 questions within a time limit of 15 minutes. Each question held a value of 2 marks. In the oral phase, participating schools had the opportunity to randomly select a question from a pool of questions. Each question must be answered within 45 seconds, or else the marks will be forfeited. Additionally, each school had a total of 4 chances to pick a question.
4 more seconds. Give your answer now. C. That's incorrect. The correct answer is A. A round of applause for that.
The concluding phase was known as the 60 seconds of glory, involving each participating school answering 10 questions within a time limit of 60 seconds.
Salary borrowed 3,600 as the setting rate of interest C. CI and some growth C. Incorrect. In which of the following pairs of the word is differently related? True to life, snow, sluggish, slate, fresh, and kind crow. Incorrect.
After the completion of the first round, the results were calculated and submitted. At this stage, 3 schools were eliminated from the competition. The schools were Educate Chosen High School, Baptist Model School, and Baptist High School.
We actually came there with a plan, not just to get eliminated, because the math stage was kind of tricky because schools like Baptist High were eliminated. So that was, it came as a shock to me actually. So it was quite tricky, and the 60 seconds of glory was something, to write home about. So it was actually, the 5th position was actually nice considering the schools that came below us.
In the semi-final round, 7 schools returned to compete, but unlike the first round, there are no carryover points from the previous stage. It's a fresh start for all the schools, and anything can happen. During this round, participating schools will be working with live code and project, introducing a new dimension to the competition. The stakes are higher, and the teams must showcase their skills and knowledge in real-time challenges.
In the second stage, the instructor from AXIA Tech came, Ms. Ibo. She tried first teaching us the basic things, like we're understanding at that part, but when she was going a little further, we're having some challenges, but she was very, very patient. She made sure we understood everything. Then we prepared as much as we could and we went for the second stage.
Well, the second stage was more tricky because we're going to be writing code, we won't be able to see the output and stuff like that. So just like if there's a mistake, you don't even know where it's from, and any little bit of syntax could just put my chances. So me and my team were just trying to be like extra careful.
We had rigorous practice sessions. We came to school on Saturdays. I even came to school on a Sunday, like shocking. And then we were just asking different questions, going online, asking everywhere for questions, solving, and making sure that we're able to know at least basic parts that would come out at least.
Due to the increased stakes in this round, a spirited rivalry began to develop among the participating schools. During interviews, we asked some of the students who they believed to be the greatest rivals and which school posed a significant threat to their chances of winning.
Pick field. It's actually like too fast or quite annoying, especially when you're done. They just get the answer before you or just immediately you're done.
Remavill. I knew they were tough because like when I heard that they have been doing coding for 2 years and we just started and the basics. So it was tough.
St. Augustine's, they were always following us at the back and not want to give up. But we thought that since our school had started before theirs, our own have more experience, our more educated, since we offer more courses compared to them, and since we offer programming compared to them who don't actually offer programming. But that is to tell us that a little hard work actually pays in order for you to achieve anything you want to achieve.
I think it was like St. John's.
Why St. John's?
I don't know.
You just didn't like that? Upon the conclusion of the second round, 2 schools will reach the end of their journey, marking the end of their participation in the competition. This development will allow 5 schools to advance to the final round, where they will continue their pursuit of victory. The Redeemed People's Academy were closely followed by the Federal Government College as the schools that were eliminated from the competition. Despite their efforts, these 2 schools were unable to proceed, narrowing down the field of participants for the final round. In the final ranking of the competition of this stage, Peakfield Academy secured the 5th position, followed by St. Paul's in 4th place. St. Augustine's College achieved the 3rd position, while St. John's claimed the 2nd spot. Once again, Rema Christian Academy emerged the overall winner, securing the top position for the 2nd consecutive time. The students have returned for the grand finale, and this time the participating schools will showcase their coding skills by solving live problems in front of a panel of judges. The competition has reached its peak, and the heat is on as the pressure intensifies. It's a true test of their abilities, and the students must rise to the challenge to demonstrate their coding expertise under the scrutiny of the judges.
The last round was let me know, like, the last round was hard.
Let me start with the rest is not for the sweet. Just because you started little doesn't mean you end little, and because you started mighty, you should watch your step, let's say 4.
We were unprepared for the last round because we already had it in mind that the first and the second round was already a walkover for us, and come to the 3rd round, the programming was there, we programmed our code, but did not meet up to the expectation of the judges. So we, at the end, did not qualify, and that's how we lost our opportunity to be crowned champions.
Remaville was considered the favorites to win the competition. The school had a strong advantage with coding included in their curriculum, and they had emerged victorious in the previous 2 rounds. However, despite their strong performance throughout the competition, they made a critical mistake that proved to be their downfall. Their code, although functional, was excessively long and inefficient. Unfortunately, this costly error ultimately prevented them from clinching the championship.
Not like I expected much from myself, or my school, but it was still shocking that we got last out of 4 schools. Yeah, that was my take. I was utterly disappointed.
After a grueling final round, the scores were meticulously computed, and the much anticipated moment arrived as the final results were announced.
Alright, so the second runner up with 28 points happens to be St. Paul's Academy Jos.
A round of applause for St. Paul's.
And the first runner up with 39 points is St. Augustine's.
A round of applause for St. Augustine.
And our winner for this year's AXIA Challenge.
Oh my God.
With 48 points.
Wow.
Please give a round of applause to the students from Peakfield Academy.
Oh my.
St. John's secured the 4th place position, while St. Paul's managed to cross the finish line in 3rd place. In a surprising twist of events, Peakfield Academy showcased their exceptional coding skills and emerged as champions, defeating St. Augustine's College, who settled for the second place position. Peakfield Academy celebrated their victory as they claimed the championship title.
We started first stage, we were not eliminated. Second stage, we were the last. Third stage, I think that was the final stage. We went back, dot our I's and crossed our T's, and we came back and we did marvelously in the final stage.
The last round was good because I knew like there were a lot of schools, good schools that came and left, and we actually passed them. So it was very good and I was confident.
Well, should I say I undermined them. I was like, okay, these small children are beating an old man like me, and I was just confused and shocked that they were that competitive.
The competition has brought challenge, I must say. We now have so many students trying to pick up like a football match a jersey for the competition. As far as even the JSS one, I walk into a class and they're already asking me, when is the competition going to start? And that's a good one. It means that they are enlightened, it means they are eager, and it means that we just have to begin to think far and ahead and look for other alternatives of bringing more persons into it.
They're able to gain more knowledge, they're able to gain more experience of this particular competition, and the competition is able to give them exposure, you know, to a new or different type of competition that they had been attending before.
It has a direct impact in their lives when they go home. For instance, they graduate and with the knowledge they have gotten in school, small startups may begin. And that is, I think, the ultimate goal for the whole of for the whole program, which is a plus.
When the first results was released, I spoke with the teacher. Even though it was not exactly what I was expecting, we encouraged them to work harder, and you could see some other students, you know, showing more interest.
It would be nice if we start something like a programming class, programming club, in the school. And they bought into the idea. And gradually, we started going from class to class and talking to students who are interested in programming and all. And true to it, we got close to 80 students who are interested. And this is the first time we are having close to 40 students writing computer in WAEC, something that have never happened. So the students are now showing more and more interest in the computer. So really it has made an impact.
It was really encouraging because that was the first time I went for any coding competition and I came third position. I was happy.
Right now the school is thinking of ways to bring in coding into the curriculum, and we are thinking of ways to see how we can build these children at an early age into the tech industry, and they are doing very well. We have students in JSS3 right now who are coding perfectly and who are building websites, front ends. Those who are into front ends are doing front end, and those who are doing JavaScript and Python are doing, and these children are learning on their own. So I think it has had a very huge impact on the school, and we appreciate AXIA Tech for that.
It has now given the school, more impetus, more hope that, okay, we have to actually encourage our children, to engage in these competitions. And the parents are also very happy about it because they've seen that, there's a lot of hope for our children.
In near future, AXIA Tech Challenge should be like a big tech challenge that every school should be indulging in, and it would even make programming like a course or an elective in school, just so that people can indulge in stuff like this. And I think it's going to be more big scale next time, other states, other schools from different parts of the country.
And the competition should not stop at the secondary school level. Is there any way they can come to primary school and all, because that's where you start catching them young, and that's where they start showing interest and all. So it's a good one. They should keep it up.
I think they can go very far, very, very far.
AXIA Hub is actually a very great institution, and they have a great, bright future ahead of them.